Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the beautiful riding of Mississauga Malton, and more specifically to NORCAT, the industrial hub of Ontario training facilities. It's always a pleasure to be here with so many leaders and partners who are committed to strengthening Ontario's mining and energy future. What an honor to be joined today with an exceptional group of speakers and industrial champions, including my colleague, PA Rudy Cuzzetto, MPP for Mississauga Lakeshore, Parliamentary Assistant to the Minister of Energy and Mines, David Smith, MPP for Scarborough Centre, PA to Ministry of Energy and Mines, and we were together at the Ministry of Labour. I call him my good friend Kicker, and MPP for Timmins and Minister of Northern Economic Development and Growth, George Peary. Minister, you're doing an incredible job. Great to see you here. And of course, my good friend, MPP Sharif Sibawi from Mississauga Erin Mills, His Worship Rick Damas, Mayor of Marathon, and the President of Northern Western Ontario Municipal Association. We briefly spoke with Jeff Gold, the President of Kinross Gold Corporation, Marla Tremblay, Executive Director of Mine Connect. I had an opportunity to meet her first time today. It's great to see you in Mississauga Malton. I want to also acknowledge the valued shareholders, partners in the room today, including Confederation Colleges, the Ontario Prospectors Association, and the Ontario Mining Association. Welcome again to Mississauga Malton. Your leadership, innovation, and collaboration are essential to building a competitive, a sustainable mining sector in our province. Here in Mississauga Malton, organizations like NORCAT play an important role in preparing both our youth and our workforce for the opportunities ahead. Through hands-on training, safety programs, and skill development, they're creating real pathway for young people to gain experience, build careers, and access good paying jobs. Initiatives like this also strengthen our local economy by attracting investment and reinforcing our community's role in Ontario's growing mining sector. Now it's my distinct honor to introduce Ontario's Minister of Energy and Mines with a lot of energy, Minister Stephen Lecce, a strong advocate for responsible resource development, job creation, and economic growth. Minister, thank you for picking Mississauga Malton for this announcement. Can't wait to welcome you many, many times with always a check. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Really nice to be back in Mississauga with my parliamentary colleagues, amazing people who have made a difference in Mississauga and beyond. I want to give a warm shout out to my colleague, Minister Peary. This man has been leading the way on getting to yes, moving with speed, and I'm just very honored to share the stage with him and many of the voices in the mining sector, the prospectors, everyone in the supply chain who's with us today, because what we're doing again in this year is standing up for our country. We're sending a message that we can be bold, we can be ambitious, we can move with speed, we can do it in the national interest at a time when our country is under attack. And I do believe, our Premier believes so deeply, that when our country faces uncertainty, our solution, our plan is to double down on Canada, to build more here at home, and yes, to unlock the most ethical minerals on earth. And that's what we're here to do with partners at Kinross, because they know, as we know, this is Canada's moment. And as we lead into PDAC, we have an opportunity, again, to affirm to the world that we can get to yes. We can demonstrate reliability and predictability in an increasingly uncertain world. And that is our strength. That is the value proposition for Canada. In the sea of uncertainty, we are emerging as an island of stability. That reliable, democratic partner you can count on. And so it is so important that we're here today to demonstrate progress, because we know that if we want to unlock jobs and grow our economy, we have a plan to get mines built faster. And that's what we're here today to do, because it took too long to build a mine, too challenged to do big things. We were often held back by our own bureaucracy and red tape. The world changed. This government has changed the way we think, how we recalibrate, how we work with investors to build their confidence that, yes, if they're going to deliver and invest $5 billion in our economy, as Kinross is announcing today, then we are going to move mountains to demonstrate that that capital will flow to a jurisdiction that is reliable, is, yes, ethical, a clean grid, strong workforce, but more than anything, has a regulatory system that moves. And so because we changed the law, one project, one process was our Premier's vision, a plan to cut the permit timelines by 50%. And we've now made it the law of the land. We've now unlocked 2 critical projects of national significance. And we're here today to announce progress in a sector that employs 28,000 people directly, 46,000 indirectly, that adds $13 billion of value to the country here in Ontario alone. And gold accounts for a significant portion of its production value. We know that every worker, every resource, every phone and EV battery, everything we touch and do in this technologically connected world, all paths and roads lead back to the north. And so we're here to announce that we are investing and we're building. And so I am proud, on behalf of Premier Ford and our parliamentary team, to announce that we will be designating Kinross Gold Corporation's Great Bear project under the new One Project, One Process framework that will unlock over 1,000 good-paying jobs and $5 billion of capital investments to our province. And a very important demonstration of confidence in Ontario. We are emerging as that stable space to invest. And I want the world to know this. Our Premier wants the world to hear this, that we mean business. We have a serious plan. We are challenging the status quo, and yes, we are standing up for our country. This project is located near Red Lake. The Great Bear project is positioned to be one of Canada's premier gold operations, one of the largest. A project that reflects a capital investment of over $5 billion. As I said, this is a statement of confidence in Ontario's accelerated permitting regime. Over 1,000 jobs at peak production, hundreds of additional construction jobs for the north. And this is a project at peak production that's expected to produce over 500,000 ounces of gold per year. That will strengthen our leadership as a global mining powerhouse. Now, gold remains a cornerstone of our mining sector. Of our 37 active mines, 19 are gold operations. So by accelerating the Great Bear, this Kinross project, we are reinforcing our reputation as a safe, stable, competitive place to invest. No longer will we accept silos. Our Premier has been clear, the world changed. And so we launched a plan to build the energy, the infrastructure, the transmission. In fact, just last October, I stood with the Mayor, with Rick and other members to announce a plan to build new transmission into the Red Lake District, $1 billion investment to electrify this critical, prolific mineral region of the north. A project that will see a new transmission line run up to the region because they are anticipating a 250% increase of energy demand. So we're thinking ahead and we're building for the future. And this announcement marks the 3rd time we've used the One Project, One Process regime, a framework that is delivering with speed. Last October, we fast-tracked Frontier Lithium's PAC project. This is the first designation under the framework. Then we announced a new designation, the Crawford Nickel Mine, one of the largest nickel resources in the Western world. And now today, we take another big step forward with the Great Bear Mine. This Kinross project, we're accelerating another nation-building mining project. This time it's gold, reinforcing our leadership across the critical mineral and strategic mineral space. Look, previous governments chased jobs out of this province, high electricity rates, a slow economy, high taxation, regulation, red tape, duplication, unacceptable and indefensible. And our Premier had a plan. He has a vision that is coming to life to make the North an economic engine, to synergize northern resources with southern manufacturing to grow one strong Canadian economy. And that's what we are doing today. So it is an honor to be here with all parliamentarians, with our friends from Kinross, and of course many critical mining stakeholders who have played a role in advocating for this reform, because without you it wouldn't be possible. Before I turn it over to Jeff Gold, the president of Kinross, I do want to pay homage to our host as well as to the workers, because the truth is this announcement, these projects would not be possible if we didn't have the best, most productive, deeply patriotic workforce that we have, some of whom are behind us today, and many are in the mines of the North and across this province. It is for them that we celebrate the strength of Canada, a stable democracy, a place of opportunity. And I just want to thank them for working hard, rolling up their sleeves with the recognition there's a lot more work to come. Because I think Ontario and Canada's days are our best days, still remain ahead, notwithstanding the craziness happening in the world. We are anchored by good people and an amazing productive workforce. So thank you to the people, the men and women who are behind us. We value you. And will you welcome the next speaker, the president of Kinross, as well as the visionary behind this project, Jeff Gold. Thank you all. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Minister Lecce, for those comments, and very happy to be here to celebrate this milestone. You've been a champion for Ontario's mining sector and bringing us together to mark this important milestone, and in particular for your timely and decisive action in designating Great Bear under one project, one process, what we call 1P, 1P. For Kinross, the Great Bear project represents a multi-billion-dollar investment in this province's future. And this designation sends a strong signal that Ontario remains one of the best jurisdictions in the world to invest, hire, and build for the long term. 1P, 1P reflects the province's commitment to strengthening coordination, predictability, integration, and accountability for responsible mining development, all while maintaining high standards of environmental oversight and meaningful Indigenous consultation. In today's increasingly complex environment, and based on the competitive global environment, Ontario is demonstrating leadership in how responsible mining development can be achieved. On Great Bear in particular, it's a generational opportunity that we're really excited about for all our stakeholders to realize the benefits that one project, one process promises to deliver. As noted by Minister Lecce, Great Bear is located in the historically mined and prolific Red Lake mining district. It is a world-class, high-grade combination of open pit and underground mine and is expected to produce more than 500,000 ounces of gold a year over its mine life, making it one of Canada's largest and highest margin mines once operational. As Minister Lecce also noted, it represents a capital investment of over $5 billion and will support over 1,000 direct paying jobs, thousands of indirect jobs, contribute hundreds of millions annually to Canada's GDP, and more importantly, bring transformational economic activity to the region and the broader economy as Ontario continues to build its economic independence. We also remain extremely proud of the strong and trust-based relationships that we've built with Indigenous communities and ensuring that they are beneficiaries of Great Bear's success and positive future legacy. Great Bear overall represents Kinross's commitment to Ontario to deliver lasting value to Indigenous communities, our stakeholders, the economy, and future generations under the positive legacy it will create. Today's designation brings us one step closer to realizing that commitment. Beyond Great Bear, one project, one process represents an important evolution in how major mining projects are advanced in Ontario. The framework will strengthen Ontario's global competitiveness, help unlock meaningful social and economic benefits for communities across the province, and, more importantly, give proponents the confidence they require to invest here, as has been demonstrated by Kinross. In doing so, Ontario has positioned itself to be at the forefront of the next era of responsible mining development, and we're very happy to be a part of it. In closing, we are proud to have been designated under one project, one process, and we are grateful to Minister Lecce, to Premier Ford, and their respective teams, to Indigenous communities, our partners in Red Lake, and to all those, including the workers that have contributed to reaching this milestone. We look forward to continuing our partnership as we responsibly advance Great Bear toward commercial production. Thank you. Oh, sorry. Pardon me.
I can introduce myself.
Marla.
Hello, everybody. It's fine. Yeah, I've done this a few times. Marla Trombley, I'm the Executive Director of Mine Connect. Mine Connect is the Supply and Services Association for Ontario. I'm here, obviously to congratulate Kinross. This is going to be a great project, and I am a Northerner, so extra excited for this to be taking place, and grateful to the province, Minister Lecce, and also Minister Pirie, who I've had the pleasure of working with on a number of occasions, for supporting this. We have always been a big proponent since the outset of the 1P, and I think after Minister Lecce, I'm probably the person who talks about it the most. I mention it all the time. You might be wondering why. We're not a mine. I don't represent a mine. I don't represent the mines at all. I represent the supply chain. We are the other part of the equation. Without a supply chain, you don't have a mine. Our members and the suppliers across the province touch every phase of the mine cycle, from exploration all the way to remediation. And without them, nothing moves forward. And how does the 1P directly affect that? Well, when mines move faster, suppliers have a lot more confidence. They're able to make decisions. They're able to hire people. They're able to invest in equipment. They're able to invest in expansions. And when mines are moving forward faster, they are also able to access capital and dollars that they need. It's not the same as the tune of billions of dollars from investors, but they can go to the bank and say, hey, this is happening and we are going to get projects. It makes a really big difference. We talked about this specific project creating 1,000 direct jobs. Well, we know labor market. It's a crunch. It's a challenge. We know that that's a big challenge for not only the mines, but the suppliers as well. And part of that challenge is keeping people in the north, keeping people in rural communities. You know how that happens? Is by creating community. So it's not just the people we hire. It's not just the dollars spent on equipment. It's the dollars that are spent in community. It's the dollars that are spent to support arts, hockey teams, libraries, everything that keeps people in a community and makes them feel part of a community. Without that, you're never going to hire the people you need and you're never going to keep them. So that's why it's incredibly important for us as the supply chain, and recognizing that supply chain has such an important role to play. So I'm grateful to be here. Thank you very much for recognizing the importance of that piece of the puzzle. And congratulations again to Kinross. And I'd like to introduce, you're welcome, Mayor Rick Dumas, also a Northerner, Mayor of Northern Marathon, and he's also the president of NOMA, the Northwestern Association of Municipalities.
Well, thank you very much. And as you can see, we all brought paper, but the teleprompter's there, so good. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure for me to be here today on behalf of Northwestern Ontario Municipal Association. I want to take the opportunity to thank Mr. Lecce for inviting me down, of course. And as a Northerner, we do have a lot of opportunities in Northwestern Ontario, specifically with the resources that are there. And we're very proud to have the opportunity to work with Kinross and everybody else that has mines set up in Northwestern Ontario. Provincial officials and First Nation partners working as we brought here today's announcement. This is an important moment for Northwestern Ontario. Projects like the Great Bear Project signal continued confidence in the region, in the workforce, communities, and the resource potential. Responsible mining and development remains a cornerstone of Northwestern Ontario's economy, creating good-paying jobs, strengthening municipal tax bases, and supporting local businesses and supply chains, as we heard from Marla. One project, one process framework is an encouraging step forward in improving how major projects move forward, providing greater coordination, clearer timelines, and investment certainty while maintaining environmental oversight and the Crown's duty to consult. Equally important is the partnership with our First Nations communities throughout the Northwest. Meaningful consultation, shared opportunities, and long-term collaboration must remain at the center of the resource development in the North. I also want to take the opportunity to share the excitement from Mayor Fred Moda of Red Lake. Fred couldn't make it down today. He's also the Executive Vice President of NOMA, who's unable to join us, of course. Fred has asked me to extend his strong support in this project and enthusiasm about the economic opportunities for his community and, of course, all of Northwestern Ontario. It represents municipalities for the region. Northwestern Ontario is ready to play a leading role in Canada's critical minerals future, and the announcements like today reinforce that region is open for responsible development and investment. NOMA looks forward to continuing to work with the province, industry, and Indigenous partners to ensure the benefits of projects like the Great Bear are felt across the North. Thank you, Miigwech. And I'd like to take the opportunity to invite Minister Pirie up, please.
Well, thank you very much. It's a real honor to be given an opportunity to have a few remarks at this very important announcement. And the first thing I'd like to say is it's really appropriate that this announcement is happening at NORCAT. NORCAT is all about safety, and in our career, we always started every single meeting with what? Safety. Safety. Now, you guys in the back here, now you're being trained on fall arrest. It's important you learn these lessons because it would save your life. It's an important stuff that you're doing. Learn it. Because if you're working in a shaft or you're working above open spaces, your number one priority is to ensure that you go back home every single night to your family, your loved ones. That's your number one priority. It's the company's number one priority too. So the work you're doing is incredibly important. It's so important that it's happening here at NORCAT. Now, Mr. Lecce mentioned a very important word, ethics. Ethics. As mining companies, as miners, that's how we start, with basic core principles. Number one is safety. Another example of how different Canada is as a mining community than anybody else, especially our friends to the south of us. Recently, there was 200 miners that were killed in the Congo. And the partner in that mine was the United States of America, and that would not be allowed in Canada. So you're talking about ethics? We have them. We have them. Now, let's talk about gold. Mr. Lecce mentioned about geopolitical situations, which everybody is aware of. There's a war going on right now between the U.S. and Canada about currency domination. We don't know who's going to win, but look at the Economist, and the title page is a snake, and it talks about the threat to the U.S. dollar. The benefactor of that is gold. How is that tied into what we're doing right now? Because we have an amazing project here at Great Bear. We're incredibly blessed in Northern Ontario to have mineral resources that will repopulate our treasury that is being threatened by our basic industries like the automotive sector. How much does that mean? Great Bear, $5 billion in one project that's going to be spent right here in Ontario. Detour Lake, one mine, or Agnico, I'll say. First, Agnico is spending $14 billion, they're investing $14 billion in two projects between now and 2030. $14 billion that's going to go right back into our economy because of the geopolitical situation and the richness that we have right now. On an after cash flow basis, Detour is generating $2 billion a year, and that's going to be pretty close to what Great Bear is going to generate. So it's incredibly important that we get these mines built quicker. And that's the one process, one project. That's why this is so important. That's why Mr. Lecce is standing up here making these announcements, because we will be able to repopulate the treasury that'll see us get through, our economy get through stronger and better than ever, because our government is doing the right thing at the right time at the right place. And we've got the best Minister of Mines ever right here. Thank you, Stephen.
Inspiring words from George Ferry, okay? Let's end it on that very high note. Thank you all for being with us today. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.